Hold your horses there, buckaroo. This video has a lot of Life is Strange series, kind of spoiler alerts. If you haven't played Life is Strange yet, definitely get on that. But these answers talk about Life is Strange. Spoilers! What's up, human beings? Welcome back to a question of the week video on the Games and Groceries channel. If you want to get involved in these videos, I will put up a question of the week on Twitter at Gaming Groceries and on our Instagram, Games and Groceries, all one word. And if you want to answer it, we'll do our best to put your answer in this video. But let's get to it. This week's question of the week was, what game took you on an emotional roller coaster? Right? Similar to last week where what game got you through a rough time in life, this week is just talking about what game really got you into like this emotional roller coaster. Let's get into your answers.
So our first answer comes from Volt Supreme, and he says, Life is Strange, opening the door to the wheelchair part, and that dragon cancer.
So, very first one, I know which episode he's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did say in the description, if it is Life is Strange, what specific episode really got you?
Yeah.
And again, spoilers ahead. But this particular one where you open the door and you mess with time and you think that you're helping Chloe out.
Yeah.
And her dad's alive in this new future or this new present. And then all of a sudden, she's in a wheelchair and you get to see the events. And that just takes you on like, did I do the right thing? At least her dad's alive, but she's handicapped in this sort of way. I believe she was a quadriplegic.
Yeah.
But the second answer was actually a game I've never heard about, and I started to research it. It's called That Dragon Cancer. And this game was set to be an Ouya exclusive, but you can find it on mobile and PC. And it's basically a game where the developers, Ryan and Amy Green, they talk about their experience of raising their son Joel. At 12 months old, he was terminally diagnosed with cancer. And it's just about raising a son who has cancer and just getting to know their life in a way that a film couldn't portray. And that's why I wanted to develop a game, a point and click adventure of kind of their emotional state. I haven't played this game. Liz, I don't think you've played this game either.
No, I've never heard of it, but I'm definitely interested in it now.
Yeah, and it just sounds like What Remains of Edith Finch, but in a more realistic light. And I can tell that this is going to be an emotional roller coaster because it was a real life story.
Yeah.
The Greatest Story Ever Played podcast answered with the specific episode in Life is Strange, the farewell episode, which I will have up here. We actually just did a playthrough of it. But he says farewell episode in Life is Strange Before the Storm. I was as his prize as Chloe and Max. I'm sure he's talking about the scene where Chloe's mom walks in and you're hearing the news that her dad had died in a car accident. And it was just such an emotional race.
It is a crazy episode because you know that Max is going to be leaving. She tells you that in her mental monologue.
Yeah.
That she's going to be moving and you have to figure out when you're going to tell Chloe, but then it turns out, you guys are just having fun, and then it turns out that Chloe already knew and you guys are just saying like, we're going to have a great last day together, and then that happens and that kind of throws everything upside down. So, I mean, yeah, that's definitely what I consider an emotional roller coaster episode.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, you kind of know what's happening, but at the same time, you don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
Like you feel safe.
I don't want to experience this.
Exactly. and I think that's what a good game design is all about.
Yeah. You
kind of know what's about to happen, but you don't want to experience it. Not in a way it's going to be bad, but just like you know what's going to come.
Yeah.
And it's just that episode can be deadly to you.
Mm-hmm. So our next answer comes from @CommanderNikki, and she says, Episode 4, Dark Room. Deciding whether to kill Chloe or not, the foreshadowing of the final choice. It made me imagine being asked that by a person I love, and it absolutely destroyed me. This and when I sacrificed Chloe to see the ending. Also, almost every game ever, especially Mass Effect, Spectre Induction, Legion Sacrifice, Saying Goodbye to Garrus, The Last of Us, Detroit Become Human, singing at the final moment. All those story games. Heck, even The Walking Dead brought me to tears when listening to Story Everpod.
And yeah, and that's just it. It's that there's so many good stories out there. And she talked about Detroit Become Human, which you also played.
Yeah.
Right over here. But seeing at the final moment, what was going through your head?
That definitely was very emotional. That one, yeah. All of Detroit Become Human is emotional.
Yeah, it really is, just because there's so many decisions.
There's different stories, so you're like going with whatever they're feeling. So, yeah.
And even going back to the first answer she gave,
Dark Room.
Yeah, with episode 4, The Dark Room in season 1 of Life is Strange, that just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Spoilers, especially when you find out that Mark Jefferson was the killer, and when he was the person taking captive these young girls and taking photos of them, that just it like what she said, it absolutely destroyed me. And then going into episode 5, it was just an emotional nightmare. That game really pulled my heartstrings to and forward, you know.
I remember when we played that the first time and I found out that Jefferson was the person doing it, and I yelled at you.
Yeah.
Because you knew the ending, and the whole time I'm like, I love that teacher. And I'm like, you let me love him, and you knew he was the person. Oh, I was so mad at Adam.
I know. It like I didn't want to spoil it, but it was just so heartbreaking because you get to love this teacher so much, and then man, that was a good emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Cito's Sweet Home. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Cito's Sweet Home says, it's a tie between Farewell and episode 5 of season 1. And I highly agree with that. Farewell, again, we talked about this episode, is just an emotional roller coaster. But then episode 5 just brings everything all together, and you get to experience Max's power and how she affected the world around her, and Chloe, and the final decision in episode 5.
That wasn't hard for me.
That wasn't hard for you. It was just like, because here's the thing. There's a doggo in the town.
Okay, your priorities are not straight
Pompidou
at all.
is
You're supposed to think of all the people living in the town, not the one dog you met.
I love Pompidou more than I love anything else on this earth. Pompidou is a good puppy.
That is the only reason Adam made the choice in the end to save the town. Because of Pompidou.
Bye, Chloe. I'm living life with Pompidou.
So before we go into our answers, comment down below, let us know what your answer is. What video game put you through an emotional roller coaster? Seems to be the consensus is Life is Strange, varying episodes. Let us know down in the comments. Tell us what game put you through an emotional roller coaster.
So now let's talk about our answers. What games put us through an emotional roller coaster? And Liz, I think we know the answer, but let's talk about it. What game put you through an emotional roller coaster?
Sims.
Oh!
Just kidding. No surprise here. It's Life is Strange. I was tossing it up between Detroit Become Human and Life is Strange, but it's kind of a different roller coasters because in Detroit Become Human, it's the roller coaster because you're playing as different people. Yeah. So it's like first you're this, and then you're with this person, and then you're angry, and then you're this. So it's that. But with Life is Strange, I can't even pick an episode. Yeah. You've got the one where you have to save Kate Marsh. That's pretty emotional. Oh, yeah. Because that is literally up to you to have figured out a way to save her. And then, like I said, the dark room, that was insane. And just everything, because Life is Strange, you're going through the emotions of like, oh, you're so happy because you're with your best friend, but then you're saving her life day after day after day in some way or another. And then she's mad at you for something stupid. Like, there's no way to get around Chloe being mad at you. So yeah, it's a toss-up for me between Detroit Become Human and Life is Strange, which I don't think is a surprise for anyone.
Yeah. You're probably thinking Life is Strange is also going to be my pick, but really thinking about it, yes, Life is Strange really put me through a wreck. But what game really put me through that emotional roller coaster, actually, in my opinion, is Unravel. Unravel, of course, is the EA published game. It was one of those EA Cares kind of game where it was an indie title, so I wasn't too interested in it, but when I finally picked it up when it was on sale, That game didn't have any kind of dialogue, but it just put you through a wreck in an emotional state, just because it's all about family and moving on, getting older, and just things changing in life. It didn't need any dialogue. It was just the images behind you that you get to witness, and you get to see the changes in life and how Yarny was affected by everything.
Yeah, he would like show sadness, and it was so cute.
And Unravel 2 was also emotional, but not in the same impact.
Yeah.
It was emotional on a different level, but I would say for me, Unravel put me through an emotional roller coaster.
So that was our answers for what video games put us through an emotional roller coaster, and we can't wait to read yours down in the comments. Comment below, let us know what game put you through an emotional roller coaster, and don't forget to like and share if you enjoyed this video, and definitely subscribe, ring the bell so that you know when we put out other videos, and we can't wait to talk to you next week. Bye!